get started with a Google quiz. Google quizzes are made from Google Forms. There are two ways to begin a Google quiz. First, you can go to forms.google.com and you'll see this screen. Another method is from your Google Drive to click New, More, followed by Google Forms, which will also take you to the start of a new form. Or you can click Blank Quiz from the forms.google.com page, exit ticket, assessment, worksheet, or course evaluation as templates. We'll be starting with a blank quiz. Now, I'd like to start with the blank quiz versus a blank form. When you use Google Drive and go to the form, you have to be sure in your settings that you go to quizzes and say make this a quiz. If, however, you start at forms.google.com, you automatically start with that setting already set for you. Now that I'm on my blank quiz, let's just take a look at the screen. Initially, I have my title here at the top. And you would also want to rename your title over on the upper left. You can add a form description, so these might be directions, information, tips and tricks, that sort of thing. Then you're going to get started with your questions. There's one question already there for you, and you have a lot of choices for question type: short answer, paragraph, and the rest on this list. If you are restricting the date and time, you would choose date or time from the bottom of the list, and that means the person has to pick it from the calendar or it has to be entered correctly as a time. This is more effective than using a short answer for date and time. Let's start with question number 1. So I'm going to have a multiple choice question. I could add an image with this question. Right from Google. So it's up to you if you would want to have an image in your question or not. Then you can add your choices. Now, the thing that makes this a quiz, which is awesome, you can also have an image per answer type if you wanted, is now I can say, number 1, this is required, and number 2, it's going to have an answer key. So the correct answer is blue. I can make that worth 1 point, and then I can add answer feedback if I wanted to. So if they choose the wrong answer, I could add information to help prompt them to think of the correct information. I could add a link that they could go out and do more research. And then I can also add information or feedback for the correct answer. And then I would return to edit question, and I'm back to the question, and you can see now that the answer key says 1 point, the question is required. Another thing here is that sometimes questions, you might want to have a little bit of information. You can click this 3-button menu and choose to turn the description on or off. So now under my question, I can add a description. There you go. So that question's all done, and I could click the plus to add another question. The keys add a title section, which can sometimes make your form look pretty decorative. You can add images in between questions, videos, and then you can add sections, which will create the form on separate pages. So these are all great options. You can add a video and then add a question right after it. So let's look at another question type. I've got the option for a short answer. And in this case, I'm going to have a fill in the blank. And then they'll get the option to enter a short answer. I'm going to require this question, and I'll go to my answer key, and I'll put in September. And I also like to put it in lowercase, just in case. And I'll make that worth 1 point. And all other answers will be marked incorrect. So now I have a 2-question quiz. When I click responses, I can see no one has responded to my form yet, so there's nothing to see there yet. I could change the color of my form. You can also choose a theme. And when you choose a theme, it also changes the background color. Here's how you can preview what your form will look like. You could even go ahead and fill it in. So now I have submitted my form. Back in editing view, it's important to look at the settings. Do I want to collect the email address when the person fills it in? Do I want to send them a response receipt, meaning they'll get a copy of their responses? I can either prompt them to request it or I can have it always be sent. I've got this restricted to Southwestern School District. If I did not have this collect email addresses on, I should have a name field on my form. Also, on the quiz menu, it's already marked as a quiz. Am I going to send them the grades right after they take it or later? So if you have to manually grade something, maybe a paragraph response or a short answer that you couldn't have a answer key for, then you would want to do the manual review. And you can decide if you want to allow them to see which questions were incorrect, correct answers, and point values. And then save. Now it's time to send your form. So you click send. You can send it by email, or you can go to the link button and say copy the long link. You can shorten the link and copy that. And then you can put it in Google Classroom, It's Learning. You can still send it by email. You can put it on your website, a lot of different places. You could also embed the form. So you can embed the form in It's Learning or a Google site or somewhere else if you wanted the form to show up directly on a web page. So I'll just paste my link in over here so you can see that it will go directly to my form. Now it's all set. So let's go back to my form and you can see now that I have a response. 1 point scored for blue, and October is after May, so obviously that was incorrect. That was a frequently missed question, so you can see 0 out of 1. Now, let's check out over to my email and see if I got my responses. But here are my responses from another form that I had done that I did have in my email. So it showed me all my responses, and then that way I have a record of it. So that's getting started with Google Forms. It's very easy to use. The data is available to you right away. And I love now that you can add feedback for questions so that as learners are taking assessments or maybe formative assessments or possibly using Google Forms as a study guide, you have a great way to do that and do it very quickly and then be able to reuse it. So let's quick talk about that. I've got my responses here. Maybe I want to reuse this form in another semester. So I can delete all the responses. I can select to get this into a spreadsheet. And then later, if I decide to reuse the form, I can come in here and I can unlink it from that spreadsheet and delete my responses, and then I can reuse the form. So that's really nice as well. So getting started with Google Forms is just forms.google.com. And if you have any questions, be sure to contact us at learningcoach@southwesternsd.org.